Hey everybody, hospitality friend Glenn here. Listen, we already know Actable gives you the power to profit, but now they're giving you more actionable insights to drive that profitability. Do me a favor, take a moment and check out hoteldata.com. You're getting set for budget season, right? And this new benchmarking data is going to help compare your hotel's performance for the rest of 2025 and into 2026. Please check out hoteldata.com or the classic actable.com. Have a great day and enjoy the show.
How's everybody doing? Good. Come on, we got Mitch Patel here. How's that funny humor? That's great. Glad you guys are as excited as I am. Mitch, it's so great to see you. Great seeing you as well. Oh, great. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with you up here today. I will say, I love being in this business because there are so many amazing people and great entrepreneurs. And this here is one of the best in the industry that I've seen. So I've really admired your career over the last 30 years and can't help but look back how I started out in 1996. You started out in 1997. And look where you've come. And I haven't even, and I'm still a journalist. So there's that. Mitch, congratulations on all your successes and particularly opening up 3 hotels in the last week. And I think a good place for us to start might be you had talked to me back at March at the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference, and you said the secret to success is strong brands, markets, your markets and operational excellence. How are you feeling today about the general vibe in the hospitality industry and that philosophy?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me, Wayne. Greatly appreciate the invite, Chuck as well. And I have to say that I don't know who gave Frank that bio, but I really appreciate the kind words. Yeah, you did a lot of research there. Appreciate that. And it's great. Okay, yes, and it's great to be in the my home state of Tennessee. And congratulations, Doug. This is a iconic hotel. We're very proud that this hotel is in our great state of Tennessee. So appreciate everything you do. So this business, look, we could talk all day long about the challenges, and we'll talk about some of that. But every company creates value differently. And we've created it through development historically, right? As Frank said, we built over 60 plus hotels. I think we purchased 2 only. That's 28 years. And those were gut job conversions and so forth. So that's how we were able to create value. So we, just like you touched on, we opened 2 hotels last week, sorry. 2 hotels last week. It seems like last. I know. 2 hotels last week and 1 next week. And then we have another 8 or 10 in our pipeline and many other under construction. But I will tell you that 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, you could make, I was just talking to Greg Presley, a former colleague of ours earlier today, you can make a half a dozen mistakes and you could still probably be pretty successful. Today, you don't have that luxury. It's laser thin margins. You heard that from the investment panel earlier today too. Construction costs have gone up significantly. Operating costs have gone up significantly, but our RevPAR hasn't kept up with it. So deals, even though we're pretty savvy developers, they are very difficult to pencil. So, but we'll see. Yeah, that goes.
Well, I'd like to go back to 1997. How did you get together that $3,000 and what did you do with it to get started? And really, I'm looking for advice over here.
Sure. Frank told a little bit about the story, right? So it's a very capital-intensive business. If you are on the ownership side, it's particularly on the development side where you have to raise capital and then convince a lender to give you the rest of the funds. So $3,000 isn't a lot, but when you're 26 years old, I mean, I felt like that was a lot of money. Yeah. But that was my 401k working for the engineering company that I was working for. And so I remember, I think it was a little bit more than that, but I had to write a penalty to cash out at $3,000. And I had to raise significantly more than that from my share of the equity. So I convinced, can't tell you how many people I called to borrow $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 just for my share of the equity. By the way, I did not get any sweat equity. I did not have a salary. My salary kicked in the day the hotel opened because I was the opening general manager. I learned about all the pre-opening. I've learned that later on.
Yeah.
And I convinced the bank to fund the project, signed a document called a personal guarantee, but I didn't know what that was. They could take my $3,000. That's all.
Yeah, without you is what he says.
But you know, it was no question a big challenge. You know, I remember it was a Homewood Suites. Most people never even heard of the brand back then.
Yep.
And pre-opening marketing and all that, didn't really understand that. First month, 10% occupancy. And it was May, not December. Oof. Second month, 15% occupancy.
Hey, 50%, right?
Yeah, that's not bad percentage-wise. I thought, wow, did I make the right decision?
Right.
Here, as an engineer, nothing is guaranteed, but every 2 weeks I was getting a paycheck, right?
So let me ask you, you say you made the right decision. I think every entrepreneur has to grapple with whether or not they made the right decision. How did you convince yourself that you were on the right path forward?
Yeah, look, I don't think I convinced myself. My parents were saying you're making the wrong decision. You study.
So that probably helped you.
Yeah, probably did. You know, look, you study engineering. They help you through college. You know, you've got your master's in it. You're working down in Atlanta. I guess that can be the American dream, right? But I didn't, and we've talked about this. Here's the thing. I didn't love what I was doing. I didn't have a passion for it. And here's the thing, if there's some young adults in the audience, you know, if you constantly are looking at your watch,
Yep.
you're probably not in the right field. And so I couldn't wait till lunchtime. I couldn't wait till 5 o'clock to get home. I hated Sunday nights because you know what you have to do Monday morning. And by the way, I had to go to work Monday morning and fight the traffic I'm supposed to fix. And, you know, that's no way to live a life. And I was talking to my parents, and my parents would say, you know what? You gotta just work hard. Life's not easy. I said, there has to be more than that. And today, right, I'm so glad that I found my passion where I never expected to. And when you have a passion for something, a true, deep passion for something, it's not work, right?
And I'll tell you, that's where success comes from, because you're not looking to make a buck, but because you're so passionate, it attracts all of that to you. So how did you learn that you were passionate about the hotel business? That's not a common thing in the 1990s, particularly like for the younger people out there. The 1990s was a time when select service hotels really started to come into their own, and we saw a massive increase in hospitality products.
Yeah, look, I don't think I had any idea at that time that I was going to fall in love with this business, because I did grow up in the business, and that's why I didn't want to do that. And I think that it just took time to get there. And I'll tell you quickly, you know, I think getting into this business, what drove me was because I didn't love what I was doing here. So there has to be something more, something different. So I didn't know at that time that I'm going to love it. At 10% at 15% occupancy and owing people a lot of money, I don't know if that was really fun. And so, but I will tell you, Glenn, that it took us 18 months of hard work and dedication.
Yeah, I was about to say, I probably taught you hustle and grit.
That's right. And then we found success. We became the #1 hotel in the market and really enjoyed the team that I was working with, really enjoyed the challenge that was in front of us. And just the design, the construction, the people side of the business, the hospitality, right? It's just, this is the most beautiful. You know, they call soccer the most beautiful game.
Yep.
I always say this is the most beautiful business, right? It truly is.
Yeah.
And I found my passion for it. And I thought that, you know, people ask, well, what got you to the second or third at that time?
Yeah, this would be my next question.
Okay, go ahead.
So what's good? How did you get to the second hotel? At what point did you realize this is my fate, this is my destiny, I'm all in?
Sure. And so 18 months of opening this hotel, we found success, right? And then continued to manage it as a general manager. Then there came an opportunity 3 years later, actually, to do a hotel in Nashville. And I took on that challenge. I said, then I got kind of tired of answering the phone with lenders and landowners and prospective partners, Homewood Suites, general manager, right? So I said, it has to be something different that I need to do here. So there's a boardroom on the second floor of that hotel. It's called the Mallard Room. And you know where that name comes from, with the Homewood logo. And I took that sign off, and I don't think I asked Hilton for permission for a brand variance on that, probably at the time. Came up with a company name, Vision Hospitality Group, and I was the only corporate employee, but I was a proud owner. Heck yeah, a management development company. And then we opened that second one, but I've got to talk about timing real quick. That second hotel opened in 2000, October 2000. And we didn't, it was a struggle. And it was at the airport market in Nashville. The third hotel, Hilton Garden Inn in Chattanooga downtown, opened October 11th, 2001.
So that 10% looked good back in the day.
Yes. So there are many, many moments